5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Nika and Joy Keeping It 1000. I hope that y'all have been keeping it 1000 and that you have had a great week. How's your week been?
It's been pretty good.
That's good to
I
hear.
moved into a new apartment, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I know you are happy about that.
Yes, I am.
I'm
Yes, I
happy for
am.
you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So my week was good. I feel better.
That's
My
good.
back don't hurt as much.
Good.
But I have a lot of physical therapy ahead, but I'm doing good.
So
It's been a good
physical
week.
therapy just
To help with my
meaning,
back.
so the people are helping you with your back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The
What-
professionals.
What did you think?
I mean, there's several ways you can begin physical therapy. I'm just saying,
No, this is a professional way.
Okay,
They're gonna take care of
professionals
my
that could
back.
do it.
And
I learned some things over the past year.
I know. I don't doubt that.
I've learned that they even have physical therapy for the vagina.
No,
If you have issues
that.
with they do. They have somebody that can help relax it, and
What? Relax it for what?
if it's like maybe you had a situation and now you can't relax it or something, and
But
they
okay,
can
I'm
help
really
you.
curious because I've never heard of that. So what kind
I'm
of
serious.
situation?
A situation where maybe you had surgery or you've had an
Okay.
injury, or maybe a child, and it's something that needs to help you, rebuild that muscle down there. So they do have
Ah.
vagina physical therapy.
That's very interesting. But have you ever heard about the plastic surgery that they do down there to kind of like make you a virgin again?
You just had to go there. Did you even
Well,
tell them what today is? Today
It's
is
Friday. We're
Friday.
keeping it 1000. We
Keeping it
already said
1000.
that, but
Okay,
you was the
you're
one
right.
talking about the coochie. So I
Okay,
just
you're
was
right.
like,
You're
oh
right.
yeah, you know
Okay.
what?
Mhm.
They actually can make you a virgin again. Would you do that?
I'm already a virgin.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
So it don't matter. I don't need to be a virgin again. I'm already
Well, I'm
already
curious
there. I'm
because
already a virgin.
I'm not a virgin, but how did you get back to this?
Well, I had surgery, but it was not it was not that type of surgery, okay? It was a different type of surgery, but it involved my vagina.
Oh, that's okay.
You got me talking about my vagina
Yeah,
with all
I'm
these
just like,
people. What
this
the
might be too much.
you
But keeping it
damn you.
1000.
So anyways,
But you started
I
the
feel like I have a
vagina
new
talk.
vagina. So, you know what I'm saying? They worked on it because I had to have some work on it. And then now it's new again. It's like, hello.
I used to think I would want to have.
So are you saying yours run down? What are you saying?
No, mine is nice. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't mind being a virgin again because I didn't get the chance to choose who I say yes to. That was taken from me. So I just wonder what it'd be like to say, okay, I'll give it to you,
Well, you could still just, baby, if you give it to me, I give it to you. You know what I want. You know I got it, baby. I don't know the rest of the words. I thought you was going, you know what I'm saying?
Girl, something like that.
Okay.
Welcome to Keeping It 1000, everybody.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Friday. We are here on Facebook Live, and we are also going to be featuring on YouTube and very shortly on Instagram Live too. So don't forget to join us in this journey. All we are doing is trying to help each other grow and share our perspectives. There is no right or wrong perspective to this because we all have different opinions. We all have different backgrounds and experiences. But the goal is let's put our experiences together. Let's share. Let's chop it up and see what we can take away and learn. Like,
that's what it's about. I gotta kind of like fix this a little bit because it's kind of like itching or doing something, and
I hope you don't take them off because you sure do look great. I love.
I just had to fix it so I could.
I hope it don't.
Fabulous. I hope it just don't come. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't come off.
It ain't coming off.
I gotta give a shout out about these lashes here.
Ahead.
These are called Angel by Beauty by Sheree. Yes, honey. Beautiful. My girl just became an entrepreneur today. Well, really not today, but she made her sales. You know what I'm saying? She just got a product, making her sell some hard.
Why are you saying when you say she just got product? Now I'm thinking of Tommy and Gold.
Girl, I feel like Tommy and Ghost. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 1000. I think I'm Tommy, and she probably Ghost because I told her earlier today, you sneaky. I just told her today she was sneaky as hell. For real. I told my best friend, you sneaky as hell. I'll never know what you're doing unless you tell me. She think I don't be knowing, but I be knowing. So anyways, right. Tommy was out with his. Ghost was sneaking around,
Ghost
always
was
doing
not
stuff.
sneaky.
He was sneaky a little bit. Come
He
on,
was
man.
a
Look at all the
thinker.
stuff that
He
was
was a thinker. And he would see things. He had vision. Tommy operated off emotion.
So you trying to say I'm emotional?
I'm talking about Ghost
I
and
had
Tommy.
vision.
I'm not talking
I have,
about you.
you know what
I'm
I'm
talking
saying? I
about
be
Ghost
think
and
things
Tommy.
out. But if I was
You
to
may have,
determine
I think
between
you have a bit of both.
Because I'm bi person.
No.
I told you in our first episode, I'm like a man and a woman. I can't help that.
That's why you're accusing me of having mannish built, mannish
I told
shoulders.
her we very Buffy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we got these big old shoulders. We like lineback chicks.
No.
So we got to make sure we have some
just got
distance
extra meat. That's
between.
all.
She trying to call it extra meat. I'm trying to call it what it is. It's
if you
bigger
lost
shoulders.
weight, all of this would go. So then where's the...
No, it's not going to go. These shoulders are still, I'm just going to be smaller with some bigger shoulders.
Okay, so let me ask you this. People who are watching, who are listening, you're like, this
shoulders
is dragging out.
Go.
Do you have extra large or 2X skeletons?
I think so. But I see some of these people, they gotta have a 4X skeleton. Because there's not a skinny girl living inside of some of these big people. I'm not going for that. We're not going for that, Joy. We're not playing that. We're not doing that. Like you said that one time, there's somebody living inside of me. I'm somebody else. No, the hell you not. You fat. You remember that one time?
Yeah, but if you lose weight,
saying,
then you lose weight.
Oh, that was a podcast that one time we were talking about, you know, when you said something about there's a skinny girl inside of me, so I'm transgender.
Oh,
you know, yeah.
No, that was because people be saying they're anything. They
trans skinny now.
I'm trans slender. Yeah.
No, you're not trans slender. You big, you big. Hold up. And there is no slim thick. You either slim or you thick. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you that.
Some of that thick is just fat. I'm sorry.
And so I was saying that we got big shoulders. And we need to keep distance.
Let's get to
all right, whatever. Go on. So anyway.
So we've been talking about vagina. So we might as well just talk about the honey pots. So what do you think about all of that?
Girl, you know what? I'm very proud of the CEO. I'm very proud of any woman entrepreneur that takes a step forward and actually has a goal and push forward for that to happen. So I was really excited to see it. I was very, very excited to see that a Black woman's brand was now in Target. I mean, that's not the first time. There's another young lady, and forgive me because I don't know her brand, but she has a lipstick brand, and she's also in Target. Yes, you know, so I feel like Black women entrepreneurs are starting to soar more. We are doing more, and we are evolving more. I don't feel that anyone should have had a problem with it. The only thing is, every time when we do stuff, we have to, we're always given disclaimers like, for every young Black girl or every young Black boy or this Black boy or this Black girl. So for that reason, everyone was in an uproar because she said that. But
do you know that that was scripted by Target? That was what Target wanted her to say.
Because Target want to get our coins.
Because it was Black History Month.
That's what I'm saying. Target wants to get our coins, just like the rest of these places want to get our coins, and we spend it there. We have to not be minimizing. I was talking about this earlier in the week. Minimizing ourselves. We are able to go wherever we want to go.
We sure are.
So they were mad at her, but like you said, and you know, you enlightened me to know that there were more Caucasian men that were upset about it.
I went through the comments. I had time that day.
You had time that day.
Oh yeah.
I've been wanting to. Just I've seen a lot of the comments that the women were saying, and I was livid. I was like, okay, this is now such a problem because.
Yeah, I had time. I was gonna see if I had any say, but that would be too much. But it was a lot of men were saying, you know, that it should just be, you know, why do we have to, like you're saying, point out that it's Black? But the mere fact that you have a problem with us saying that it was Black. You know, we want to inspire Black girls. That's a problem in itself. These are the same people that when people say Black Lives Matter, then you want to say all lives matter. You know what? People.
I live in a neighborhood back home in Minnesota, and there's a lot of my neighbors that had that signs out there like Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, and I was just like, is this the welcome to the neighborhood stuff? Because it needs to be put up. But I just feel that in everything that we do, we are always, you know, conditioned or forced to pretty much not speak on what we're proud of. We do need to be more, there needs to be more examples. And so we are now, as more Black women entrepreneurs are coming out, we are wanting to educate more young Black girls and letting them know that they have the ability to be an entrepreneur too. And they're not limited to the things that they want to do, and they can dream big. They can also be in places like Target, because society tells us that Walmart is ghetto. So if you shop at Walmart, that you're poor or you're this or you're that. But let me tell you something, because I know white people that shop right at Aldi's, and Aldi's is not. It's was supposedly designed for the less fortunate. But guess what? The fortunate be right up in there shopping,
Girl,
saving.
please, I wish they would, because I be in there for my fruits. I be in there for
I
my
don't like a lot of their
vegetables.
stuff though. They
You
they
gotta get what
snacks.
you go for what you need.
You
Like I
right.
like my fruits from there. It's much more cheaper than
You're right
other
about
places,
that.
and you just clean them properly, rinse them out, some
Yes,
vinegar,
that's just
whatever.
yeah.
Take care of your stuff. But like, I'm not going to buy my meat there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just more or less like, I'm just tired that we always have to make room for other people's feelings when we are just proud and happy about the things that we're doing. That's just how I feel. I'm proud as a Black woman to see another Black woman entrepreneur
And
make it
you
into
remind
being in Target.
you reminded me of a conversation we had earlier. Is that people have a problem with it being said that this is a Black woman speaking about a product, and she's looking to inspire Black girls. But real quick, she wants to inspire maybe her daughter,
Right.
maybe the little girls in her family, in her community. But also, like, these are the same people who also have problems with, I don't want you in dreads.
Right.
I don't want you wearing that afro.
Girl,
Lady, can you relax your hair so
I'm
that you
telling
can
you.
be here in our space?
Yes.
Like,
that
so
just happened recently
so
to
it's
my
it's
son.
a problem. That's a problem in itself. Like,
Girl,
why can't you just let us be? Why can't you be quiet? Y'all have had all these years, and let's not talk about the Jewish people or the Irish people or any other race or culture of people, because they, it's not the same for them that it is with us.
It's honestly not. And we cannot even try to pretend that it is, because for most people it's not. My son recently was dealing with that at work. He was asked, could he straighten his hair because corporate was coming, and they wanted him to be neat in appearance. It's understandable to say that. But then to ask him as a Black male to straighten his hair, no, that's going above and beyond
that. Didn't they see him like the day before corporate was coming, the week before, the month before, and it was okay?
It was okay.
Because apparently, if it's okay all that other time, then why is it a problem now under these guidelines? Like, why suddenly would corporate require a different representation?
Honestly, Joy, that's where I feel like, as a whole, as far as the Caucasian race, they don't stand boldly for what they should stand for, so that it could be more of a unified situation. You know what I mean? We have them, they want to be like, hey girl, doing all that stuff, talk to the hand.
That's exactly
doing
all
that fake ass stuff.
When it's time to appropriate our culture.
But let Julia Stanford, that's not a real name that I know, but I'm just saying, let her come in the room. She's from corporate or whatever, because I've seen that in the workplace. I remember my call center I worked at, I had to do this shadowing with this girl, right? Mm-hmm. When I sat next to her, you know what she said to me? No. Oh, I don't come from the ghetto. Now, I had not even spoke. I had, other than how you doing, I was very cordial with her and everything. And I just like, I didn't come from the ghetto either, so I don't even know why the hell you said that.
Like, if I was like, when I first met you, there's nothing about you that said ghetto. Like, even before you spoke, so that already spoke volumes about who she is, and what she
management never did nothing. And then she ended up saying something else that another girl got very offended with, by saying, oh, she's from a ghetto part of California, but I'm not. And she kept using this terminology, ghetto. So the girl came back asking me. And I said, I just pretty much left it alone, because
you could get ugly.
My manager didn't do nothing about it. So, and I just was fresh on the job. I was just trying to get my little coins. I was not trying to start a Black girl, unite, let's riot, because I already seen it was a no-win situation. And it was one, how you got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
It was one I didn't care to fight. I know who I am, and I'm very confident in that. So
and
it was no
secure
need.
in
Yeah,
who
it
you
was just
are.
no need.
Yeah, you're right. You do have to pick your
You
battles
got
because
to.
there are going to be many battles, but who wins the war in
But
the
at the
end?
same
Because she
time,
gonna get served hers.
she really is.
She
And then
is.
one time I seen her wheeling around. She had the little, instead of having crutches, she had the little thing.
The
Something happened to her
scooter.
leg. Yeah, she was scooting around. So that's what her ass get. Talking about ghetto. So probably was some ghetto person tripped her ass, and
She was probably doing some ghetto
I'm just
stuff
saying she was doing
by
something
herself.
ghetto. And she was not a very professional type of chick. So I didn't understand why she kept
And that's
coming
the
with that.
thing. That's the thing. I feel
Oh,
like
I
when you
wanted
went into her
to.
space, you probably intimidated her because she expected a black ratchet woman or
Right,
whatever, or she
right.
expected
She
that,
did
and
expect
she
that.
know who she is. She's the scum at the bottom of the ocean.
But you know how you could just, I have very transferable skills. I could be so many different directions. I feel like I'm a chameleon at times because I can mask and really blend in to the environment that I'm in. That's why one of the things I like about myself.
I think that's like it's a great skill to have to
Yeah.
know that when you walk into a room, like you are able to assess what's going on
Yeah.
here
Who's my
and
audience?
step back.
So I know,
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, moving on from that, I
I
just,
know, right?
want to just say that this, as black women, black men, be proud of who we are. We do not have to minimize ourselves so that others feel great. If you want to be somebody that wants to wear, this your hair any kind of way or whatever, do your thing. A black power. Shout out to Ghana. Happy 63rd celebration of their independence today. Great job on that. You know what I mean? Happy to see that. For me, I'm all about culture. Culture. I love culture. I love the African culture. One day I will have 2 African husbands if the Lord says the same.
I'm yet to see an African culture that would accept that. But anyhow,
You know what?
let's get into the meat of the discussion because
Go
we've
ahead. Go
been.
ahead. Go let you go there. Go.
So what we talking about today?
You were the one that basically we have. Should we say where we found the information from?
Well, there's
Did
this
you?
video going around. Just for off the top of my head, I can't think of his name, but the gentleman was saying that the whole twerk culture, the whole ratchet culture is getting tired, and that black men are walking away from it and they're not encouraging it. Like when I think when we publish this, like on YouTube, Instagram, wherever we're going to publish it, I'll include the link to his video so that you can watch it for yourselves. It was like a whole 2 hour long rant
Yeah,
about
he
black women.
was like, I mean, he was. While you speaking, I'm gonna look a little bit. Maybe I'll catch a piece of it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I got it.
So basically, he was really just, I kind of felt like I did agree with some of the things that he's saying. I do think it would be great to see women, black women, rise from being twerkers, booty shakers, and just, having a seemingly one tracked mind. I did find him at times to be very condescending. He was very dismissive to what caused women to be like that in the first place, because I think it was that whole hip hop culture that kind of started it. As well, even before then, I think it was the imbalance in the home. A lot of people grew up in single homes and, single parent homes. They were raised by single mothers, and basically he was saying that there was no hope or no value in a black single mother. And I was like, whoa, what?
This is some of what he was saying. Um, Minister Jap, that's his name here. As long as she bad and she won't be out there with her.
Because you can be a
Really?
bad woman and still have your stuff going on.
Right, right.
So I think it's a very limited perspective or just one-sided.
So he said he's made the. Why am I even enduring the bullshit that comes with fucking with a bitch like this? This is how he talks?
That's the whole thing.
She's a single mom now.
Like
Wow.
he went in on Angela Simmons. Like
That is crazy.
He basically about Angela said that she was like really a thought because she was raised in a two-parent household with a lot of privilege, but she chose to have a baby with a drug dealer who ends up getting killed. And he was always saying that she could have been better with little Romeo when they was whatever. But it was just a whole bunch of story, and I didn't know about her life or anything like that before, outside of Run's house. But I mean, like, he talked about women like that. Now I understand
Now
that
that's
you're
overdoing
angry.
it.
Yeah, it is overdoing it, and I do feel like as women in general, right, we have to be held accountable for what we're doing, how we're raising our children, and what we're putting out there in society. How are we representing ourselves, and how does this serve you in the long run? We're not going to be young forever. So while you may be living your best life now, twerking and shaking your ass, where is it going to get you when you're 80? Like, are you doing something to qualify you for being able to take care of yourself, or just really representing your true self? And I think maybe there's some
Because
insecurity.
it's different. It's looked at in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Twerking in such a sense that got a title as a twerking, but before that, it was in the African culture that you've seen that kind of dancing,
Hmm.
even down to a child being 1 or 2 years old. But it was not meant to be in a sexual way. It was more
It
so
was tribal.
it was tribal, and it was out of admiration for the elders and different things like that. So it was not provocative, and it was not meant to be considered as a provocative thing. Moving on to the Western world, in America, we have now just changed things. We
Sexualized it.
sexualize everything that we do.
Hyper sexualized.
Yes. And so now it's just more so that twerking has become the thing to do. It is. I mean, when you go to some of the clubs now, you don't see it in more of the older clubs. You got clubs now that separate in age. Like,
Seriously?
yes, you got to be 25 and up, or you have to be such and such age and up in order to even enter some of these clubs. Not just 21 anymore, because of the fact that
No,
people
did
are
not
not,
know.
they're not wanting to partake in some of that. You got your steppers still that step out. The step in the name of love. Did you ever used
Girl,
to do that?
what? A
Put
long time
on my
ago, I
dance
think, like,
shoes.
before I even had kids, right? I came to visit my friend who used to live in Dallas. I was living in New York at the time.
Yes.
She gonna take me to Fat Daddy's. Girl, I had the best time of my life.
Man.
I had the best time of my life. Them wings were banging.
You
It was
know what?
all
It
old
wasn't
men
that.
stepping in the name of
It
love.
was not that long ago for me. It probably was when I first came to Dallas about 2 months ago. My good friend Lisa. Shout out to my girl Lisa, man, because she always take me out and do nice things. And we went to the Blues Palace here in Dallas, and they was stepping, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. They was playing the blues. They was playing that old school, and it was just a different type of crowd of people where you enjoyed the music. And I don't recall us having any food. We didn't get any food there. I think we missed that part of it. If they had food, I'm not sure, but we definitely had a good time. And nobody was twerking.
Yeah.
But I like a little twerk here and there, though. Little twerk, twerk, twerk.
Can I tell you something?
Well,
I don't even know how to twerk. Then I got all this in the back. I ain't never tried.
you ain't never tried? Even when you're with someone that you're
Okay,
involved
so
with
I haven't been with
sexually?
somebody for a long time.
You've been with somebody in recent time that twerking's been involved.
Yeah, but
So we
weren't like, no.
you never twerked it for him?
No.
Is that partially why you single now, because you ain't doing no twerking?
Oh no, I'm single because I just haven't found somebody yet.
Maybe it's because you're not twerking.
So I'm supposed to twerk to find it?
I'm just saying, no little twerk. Put a little twerk. Put in that work.
Okay.
Make it clap, 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 clap.
You see, now that's what that man was talking about. You see?
Sometimes it's okay. You know what? He's just a pervert. If he's offended by something that somebody else is doing, that's on him. You know what? I'm gonna just say this real quick. I was in a club like about 2 weeks ago, right? And this man kept groping himself. He was watching women. He just kept touching himself. And I want to just advise women: you have to be careful out here. You have to be careful out here. Pay attention to your surroundings. Get your ass a stun gun so you can spin.
Get you a real one.
I mean, I was gonna say that, but I don't tell too many people get the blasting. But
I'm just saying.
Would you?
Heck yes.
I'm nervous. I don't want to kill him though. I don't want to kill him.
I'll shoot you in your kneecaps.
Let's shoot him in his penis. You trying to use that penis to hurt me? I'm gonna hurt your penis.
I don't know, but like, So how do you in general feel about like how has like the whole twerk mentality or just how society and culture is that it's insta famous. We want instant gratification. And so I'm gonna take off my clothes and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show you like my curves and everything so I can get them likes up. How does that play? Because that's part of what his message was.
Well, I think that anyone that is not confident in themselves and they feel like they need to do these things for likes, that's already another situation in itself. A lot of things that people do, I don't want to say that twerking spears from low self-esteem. I'm not going to say that because to me, twerking is an art. It's an art, it's a dance, and I've seen it, like I said, in other cultures, and it's not considered provocative. So I can't agree with what he's saying. I can't say that it's always inappropriate. I think it's just the individual woman who is out and that's taking things a little further in the club. These women are not just twerking anymore. You got women that are fully out here giving full fellatio right there on the dance floor while twerking. They twerking in the back, they giving
Oh, yeah, we see
fellatio in the
those
front.
videos.
Yes, you see this stuff,
Yeah.
and I just think that as a whole, I'm just want to be real. We're keeping it 1,000 here. Women need to stop making themselves look slutty. They need to stop making themselves look trampy-ish and actually just stop doing the horrible things that they do. Really, you're getting upset. These women be mad that somebody is filming you giving, you know, fellatio to somebody while you're in the club. You're in the club. That's
You
not
can't
what you
get
should be
mad.
doing. You can't be mad. You can't be
You
mad. You
can't be
asked for that.
mad.
You feel bold enough to put a penis in your mouth while you're right there on the dance floor. You need to be filmed. Because I want to know people like you. I want to make sure if my son bring a chick to the crib, it's not you. It's not you. I just want to make
Girl,
sure.
your son got too much. All your boys got too much sense to bring that home.
I don't know, girl. Sometimes they steal our men. They steal our men. Though.
They're
They
still
steal our
men, but
men.
they'll take her to the motel, but she never step foot home. She will never be wifey or wife. You hear what I'm saying?
One of my sons is getting married.
Yeah, but not to that. He's
No,
getting married to a whole
but
woman.
you know what? My son, his fiance, she's something.
But she's not that.
She's not that.
Okay.
She's definitely not that because you already know she would be not even around.
That's
him.
what I'm saying.
But I mean, like
because you've instilled a lot of great things in those boys.
Most definitely.
And so even though they
but
may veer off track a little bit, they're gonna come back
I
because
gotta tell
of the
you something,
foundation.
girl.
Go ahead.
One time, one of my son's friends, actually, he admitted that every man like a little ratchetness. He was like, "Ain't nothing wrong with a little ratchetness."
But that's why you get a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. Like,
what is freak in the sheets considered to you? Because I want to know. You don't even twerking in. You're not even twerking in the sheets. So what are you doing freaky in the sheets?
I'm doing a lot of freaky in the sheets. You don't want to know.
They want to know. Y'all want to know.
Okay.
Y'all want to know what Joy out here doing freaky in the sheets?
That's between me and who I'm freaky with.
Joy.
Don't worry about me.
This is what we. You brought it up. You want to talk about.
But you gotta find you a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. Otherwise, you're gonna be bored.
Define what the freak in the sheets is? The sheets and the freak.
The two people.
But what do you think it is? What do you say it is? This hypothetically. What's the freaky in the sheets type of stuff?
I mean, like, okay, you can try different
freaky
outfits. You can try different accessories. You can try.
Is 69 freaky in the sheets?
No, that's basic.
That's basic. Okay.
Basic.
What about if you? I'm not with that.
We're not even talking about
syrup. Is that freaky in the sheets? I'm just trying to help people understand.
That's basic to me. You play with whipped cream syrup. That is basic.
So you taking it?
Oh yeah, you would be surprised. You wouldn't even want to know.
Okay, hold on. Somebody is asking. They're asking, Joy. Our viewers are saying, speak on it, Joy. They want to know what is freak in the sheet. We want to know what freak in the sheet. I'm not afraid.
You bring home whatever wig you want to see me in. Whatever little outfit you want, doctor, nurse.
So if you want to bring someone else,
woman, oh hell no, I don't share. That one I draw the line.
That's so that what if he thinks that's freaking the sheets though?
Yeah, but he wouldn't be my him.
Oh, okay.
But he can be somebody else's him,
Okay.
and they can get that freak on, but not no.
Have you ever seen how the three people get together and make it work?
No.
It's actually quite magical.
It might be,
I
but
see
I
it.
don't
It's
want
a
to be
little.
part of that magic.
It's a little art. It's artish. It's very artish.
I'm sure it is.
It's you said you want to be
Yeah, but I don't have to do that.
lady in the streets and freaking.
Yeah, of course, but there's
But
levels
what?
to these things.
So is
That's
anal
level
sex freaking the
5,000.
sheets?
Huh?
Is anal sex freaking the sheets?
For some people,
Is it for you? Anal sex freaking the sheets? Is that freak? Is that considered freak?
it's what
I
people
don't know.
like.
I'm just
I
trying
don't
to
know.
understand what is
I don't
freak
know
now.
about that part because I don't know about that. But it's what you want.
I
What
just
is freaky to you? Okay.
freaky to me sometimes is involving other people in the bedroom.
Okay.
Freaky to me is, maybe a man, giving you fellatio from the back. You know what I'm saying? You face the front way, he backward. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that's
That's
freaky
just
a little bit.
repositioning.
But sometimes that repositioning is exotic. It's exciting. What if you upside down and you up like this, your legs up
Girl,
like this?
you know
and
what
then,
I want?
what?
The day, when I want to swing.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna swing on it. We're gonna do something with that swing.
What is what are you gonna do with a swing?
We're gonna get freaky.
That sounds like some kitty land kind of freak stuff.
Kitty lands.
Swings.
You never seen the sex swings?
I don't like that. I just feel like it's weird. It's just
Give me a hammock.
a hammock.
That's what they're called.
So you wouldn't be tied up. You wouldn't do that type of stuff. You want to use whips?
I told no, I ain't. No, you ain't. You can't do that to me.
Well, what if you want to do it to him? Are you
No.
whipping him?
No. I mean, you can.
What about
you
these
can
men? So let me ask you
lightly
this, because
smack,
dude,
but-
he had a lot to say. He had a lot to
He
say about
really did.
single women. He had a lot to say about single mothers.
He really
And
did.
I got a lot to say about single mothers too, because I think
Okay, but let's
they be
go
doing
back.
some freaky stuff for
Women-
real.
okay.
And they be doing it with people that's not their real man though. It be your man, my man, somebody else's man.
But is that single mothers or just women? And is it
We
reduced
talking about
to
single
just,
mothers right now because single mothers
okay.
do desperate stuff.
Okay,
They
but
think
is it
I used to be messing around my kids' coach. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, kids, if y'all ever see this. I was messing around with their coach to make sure they had all the football equipment they needed, every helmets, all the cleats, all the football socks, t-shirts. They got to go to all the football sleepovers, every hotel thing they had going on. They got to go because mama was taking one for the team. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, So was I wrong, for supplying what needed to happen for
You
my
know what?
children as a single mom? I was a single mom.
I'm gonna say you did what you thought you had to do at the time. You did what felt right for you.
It got
And
my boys through.
There's a
They
lot of
had
people.
cleats.
There's a lot of people who are in positions like that who do stuff like that. But I don't think it's that we call them like gutter trash because
Fifi
of
said
that.
she want to try to swing.
I want to try to swing. That's
I don't know. Y'all gonna have to. You know what? When either one of y'all try to swing, can y'all send me a video of it?
There won't be no video. That video is for my collection. Nope. That is my video.
Antonio, that's how I felt. Get my boys right, coach. You know what I'm saying? Haircut stayed on deck. So as a single mom, I did make sure that I made myself accessible for certain things so that my children, my boys can have what they needed.
I get it.
So screw him, what he talking about.
Really?
We have the right to say that we want to do that. Why every time if it's a single mom doing something, it's a big deal? She's such a slut. She's such a whore. Come on now. What if it's just a prerogative? That was part of my job as a mother to provide for my children.
But that's what. That's,
So if
that's
I
the
had
point
to do
I
this,
want to make.
if that's
It's
what I
like,
had to do, that's what I had to
you
do.
mad at the moms, but why aren't you holding the men who made these babies accountable?
Because that's who I'm really mad at. I wouldn't
like-
even have been doing that if, you know what I'm saying, children's father was involved in helping out.
Sometimes it's as basic as like, dude, get your son a haircut. That's all I'm asking for you to do every month. Do haircuts.
They can't do it. What is
They
wrong?
just don't even show. Like,
What is wrong with our men? What is
Listen.
wrong? I cannot.
Just buy cereal because you can't eat a whole box of cereal in a day. Buy cereal. That's it. Still won't do that. Like, I just don't understand. But you want.
But do you think that is part of our fault? Do you think that we did not assess situations properly before we decided to have all these children. Because I know I did it. I know that I was at the time when I met my kid's father. Well,
But girl, you were young.
the first one that was just like, come on, now, I was 12. I wasn't even
That's what
expecting
I'm
to,
saying.
we was gonna do this and there was gonna be a child. You know what I mean? Um, but with that being said, then I had 5 children by another man, and I just wonder, like, I never seen him. I didn't even look about is he gonna be a good father or not. Like, I
Listen,
just assumed
I
that he
wasn't,
would,
I
and I'm not
wasn't.
saying he was the worst. I just know he had potential, and still does, to do
Listen,
better.
I wasn't 12 when I met my ex-husband. I was like, how, we were 25. I was 25. He was slightly older, and I wasn't thinking about. That's the whole truth. I wasn't thinking about like a future with it. Like when we first met, it was cool. The chemistry was off the charts, and it was what it was. You know, we were doing what we were doing, and like I was like, okay, so I'm about to go get this birth control, and that was like within like maybe a few weeks. But when I went for that appointment, guess what? Congratulations, you are pregnant.
Pregnant.
All
And
right.
that's what I think. I feel like on both ends, on both men and
So
women,
yeah,
and no one was really evaluating these baby mothers and baby fathers. Now there
no,
are some real ratchet women out here. Let's just be real, and men too. I'm not with the ones who wearing their pants still down to their knees. That shit is so old. And when you see a man that's like in his 40s and 50s and
like really, Jim?
he trying to still dress like he's 20, it's like, we accept you, brothers. We accept y'all where y'all at. Y'all don't have to be, cut that shit out. That's not cool. It's not cute. It's just not, it's not, no, it's not all right. And so I think that it just, his point and what he was trying to make and what he was trying to say is that men are tired of women, baby mothers specifically, twerking
You
and
know,
being ratchet. But what about these men
that,
that's paying
you
us
know,
to do this type
you
of
know,
stuff?
pain.
Some of them, I mean, some of
Yeah, I
them,
know,
when you go to the strip club and she twerking on that po,
but that's entertainment.
that is still somebody baby mama out there on that
But
pole.
he's talking about those who are doing it for free on Instagram.
How do we know they could have a submission? Because you know what, my son was telling me something about. Yes, I'm sorry, I had to bust you out. He was telling me something about premiums, that they got premium subscriptions on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, but not everybody premium. So I guess you start where you start.
Oh, so you just out there twerking for free. Now that I don't agree with. Capitalize on everything you do, ladies. There is a way that you could capitalize on the things that you do. You have to be smart about it. Now, I'm not telling you to go prostitute yourself or go sell yourself, but if you are going to be one that is going to be freely doing these
Shake
type
it,
of
tell
videos,
feather. Shake it, tell
I
feather.
think that it is safe to say you probably definitely need to capitalize on that.
Yeah, you're right. People do things for different reasons, but you can't hold people hostage to their poor decisions. Like I would hate to be held hostage to the fact that not only was I slow that I had my first baby with him, but then I had another one, and then married the
Girl, I
fool too.
have
Married the fool, married like child.
girl.
Right now,
But I love my children though. Like I feel like I just
I think once the kids started coming, at least with me, I started this like, well, maybe I can just maybe we can just figure it out, and
yeah.
things will work out. But what it took for me is actually being honest with myself, and this was after a lot of heartbreak, like,
Yeah.
and so many tragic things within our marriage, that I had to be like, okay, so what's wrong with you that you're okay with being treated like crap?
Right.
What's wrong with you that you're okay with him doing this and that to you, and him being this type of father?
Yeah.
And then I began to work on healing me, and then that's when the whole ball game changes. And so we have to really ask, because nobody want to really just shake their ass.
That's
As if
that's the thing.
right
Like
thing
when
to
I
do.
was
Like,
I'm looking at one of the comments from Fifi Thompson. Thank you for sharing your view on this. Is not judging women for things that they did,
exactly.
and that's just where I'm at. I cannot judge no one because I have done some strange things for a little piece of change. I sure have, and I have done things to make sure that my children had school supplies. I didn't really want to have to do that, but sometimes working them 2 or 3 damn jobs wasn't enough. going to the public assistance programs or all these little programs, it wasn't enough. And
You know
so
what's
there
so
was times,
hard? Sorry,
yeah.
when you're working all those jobs, but you still have to be a present mother.
That's the thing.
Like,
I had to tell my
yo,
children several
it's
times.
hard.
Me and my male best friend was talking about this recently, and we was talking. He was saying from his perspective, more single moms needed to tell their children, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that we needed to just be real and create a different culture and not always try to do these things and then expect the dad to hurry up and jump on board. He may be struggling in just the same capacity as the mother. And I told him I get that, but women, I feel like as single mothers, we're always trying to overcompensate for what the man is not doing. You be thinking, for me, I can't speak for every single mom, but I know for me, I sat back and I thought to myself, my children are not going to not be able to go play football or basketball or hockey or soccer or baseball or a sport other than that, or any type of extracurriculum stuff, science stuff, things that involve different after school programs that had a fee. I did not want my children not being able to go because they don't got no daddy at home.
And I understand the point that he's trying to make. I get it. And we do tell our kids, no, they can't have everything that they ask for. But for the basic things, I shared with you how my son, my son is 13, right? And he lashed out at his dad. His dad just decided that, and went on and had a whole nother family outside of us. And my kids, they're feeling like, okay, so daddy was able to just walk away, not provide for us, not even be present. Like, he thinks that, my ex-husband thinks that, oh, texting the kids good morning, have a good day, and then good night is communicating with his children. So he's like, I'm present, I'm in their lives every day. No, nigga, you're not. You're just not. That is gutter, that is bottom level, that's nothing. And so when my son was talking to his dad, or he was texting his dad, he was basically saying, don't text me anymore, I don't want to hear from you. Because if you would have been here, if you would have, even if you would pay child support, even if you would make a contribution in our lives, we could have better things. Mommy does the best that she can. And he said, like, as long as I'm alive, I will never treat a woman the way you did. Like, really, this is how you want your kids to think about you?
And that's, I mean, my children go through that in a sense where they're now adults, and just wanting to have an adult conversation with their father is just not always there. I think that it's getting better. They're teaching him how to be a better father and how to communicate, and that everything is not about money and what he can provide for them. We got grandchildren now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like asking simple things like, my son, one of my sons is like, I got my own place, I work, I provide for my daughter. And my dad can't fathom what that life is really like, having a relationship with your child. So he says to have a conversation with him is almost like talking to a younger homeboy or somebody that's not on his level. So he doesn't always feel that him and his dad are on the same level, or that he can,
there's certain things he can't share with him because
and I know that my
there.
ex-husband has the capability of doing it. He's very smart and intelligent.
That's
on a lot of levels. I think he can give our children a lot of insights. We have mainly boys, and we have our daughter too, and my daughter has had to grow up with her brothers really being her fathers, more than anything. And that's what I think, when he was concerned and talking, the guy, who was doing the video on the rant and stuff, I forgot his damn name already. But when he was going on and on worried about the twerking, what about us that is out here working and trying our best to survive, taking care of these children? He wants to just really be going on and on about what the women are doing.
He made a great point. He said, my brother who is going on 40 with kids still asks why his dad didn't love him or want him. And that's the thing.
Ooh,
I
thank
think
you, Antonio. That was a great insight.
That is the heart of everything. Because men, we need you. I don't care about all this. I don't believe in the whole Miss Independent thing. Because we are all
need a man.
There's nothing like independent.
Need a man,
we're supposed to be responsible adults. So because you pay your rent, you have a car, you have a job, you're independent. No, you're a whole adult.
Right.
There's no cookies for that,
Right.
So
I like that.
where are the spaces that are created for men to get the healing that they need? Because it's terrible that it's been toxic for the boys growing
Hmm.
up, that you're told, suck it up, don't cry,
Right.
or you're the man of the house. No, he's the boy. Don't tell that little boy he's the man.
And the
He's a
women
boy.
that put all
Let
that
him grow.
responsibility
Let
though.
him grow and figure out who he is, instead of telling him he's the man of the house and now his thinking's got to change or it's got to shift. And what
He
is
has to
that?
feel so responsible.
What load are you putting on him, or at whatever
Because I could
age?
speak to that. I was, I had all my children like back to back, except for like my oldest son and my second oldest. They have a little of a difference in age. And when
Excuse
I
me.
tell you, I was a young mom that I'll be honest about it. I was selling dope. I was doing whatever to take care of my children, right? And I remember teaching my 9-year-old son how to watch his younger siblings. And I had a unique thing, how I'm going to knock on the door and how I'm going to call on the phone. And now when I look back at that, or when we have conversations about that, I always apologize, like, son, I apologize that I made you become a father when I was needing a father for these children. You should have not been the one. And I think that a lot of single mothers make that same mistake. They put a lot of the responsibility on the older child because we don't know what to do. We're frustrated.
We are.
We're angry sometimes. Definitely when you have male children, those male children begin to do certain things, it changes things. And yes, agreeing with Fifi what she's saying right now, we do have to be strong as single women and single mothers, and I feel like we need to develop more of a
But can I
community
say
to help
something about
us.
this being strong? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of being strong. Like, I want to just be, and it's not that I want to be a weakling or whatever, but like, it's like, why do we always have to, take on this mantle that there's something I always have to get through or prove or do, or sometimes you
it's
just want to
always a
be
it's
like,
always
if you would,
something.
if that, and
I
again
agree
it
with
goes
you.
back to the choices that we made, but we made them from where we are. And so it's so important that we make sure that as we're raising our children, whether you're in a two parent, whether they have two parents, or even just one, whatever the situation is that we make sure that we're not raising them with the residues of the toxic things that we are coming from. We don't want to
But
raise
many of
them.
us are. I
Yeah,
see it
but
all the time. You
we
got
got to do
women that
better. We got to
they
do
are too
better.
dependent on their male child, even their daughter.
That's toxic right there.
You have mothers that are so involved with what their daughter is doing that they are entering them in the pageants. They're doing all these different things. And I do feel like a lot of single moms do need to get some psychological help, speak to somebody, and have somebody that they're talking to about some of their issues and their struggle, because I do see it. As much as I would like to say that no, single moms are all just holding it down, some of us are actually sowing some of the wrong seeds into our children, because I always was doing everything is so independent, and my son is not knowing that I'm selling drugs, but he knows that I'm leaving for a period of time and hours a night and stuff like that. My son, oldest son, grew up with this protective thing of me. He's seen me go through physical abuse. He's seen all these things happen. And he took on this responsibility. Like, I have to protect my mom. I have to provide for her. I have to do all these things for her. I have to do all that. Now, I'm not knocking it, and I'm not saying that men shouldn't do things for their mother, but I didn't want him to have that, like it was mandatory, like he was obligated, he had to do this stuff. And I think that's what a lot of single moms do. We are neglecting our sons. Do you know, as a woman that has a male child, you are the first female love that he comes encounter with. So if that is broken and damaged, imagine how his relationships go after that. We talk about the absent fathers often, but we don't talk about the absent mothers. And even though as time progressed and I became more financially present in my children's life, physically, I was absent. I was not always able to go to their programs and see them do things because I had to provide. I had to be strong.
I had I had a moment a few months ago. I remember when my daughter was like maybe in first grade, and they had mothers and daughters tea for Mother's Day, and I couldn't go because
Mhm.
I was just starting out at this new job. And I remember how she came home and she was so sad. Like I was the only kid who didn't have her mom there. And she has said that over the years. My baby is now 16.
Wow.
And it was like towards the end of last year she brought it up, and I could see, like, okay, this is still an issue here. And so we had a conversation about it. We both boo-booed, but we came out with a different type of understanding. It's not fair that we face these pressures, but we do the best that we can. And when you become aware, like, we live in a great time now because we have resources, therapy,
Right.
counseling. Let's get our kids that. Let's get them that so that they can be healthy adults and make better
And
choices
my
than we
children,
did.
and that's the thing, like that's why I say that it's the power of prayer. I give all praise to the Most High, because there was a time that both me and my children's father were incarcerated, and my children didn't have neither one of us to rely on or to talk to. And I remember getting released, and I'll never forget this. My fourth oldest son, he was probably 7 at the time, and he was like, "I'm just so angry." And I remember thinking, like, what would you be angry about at 7? But when I think of the fact that he's gone to school and had to endure school
Life,
and
yeah.
life in general, with neither his mother or his father
Because
being there to
they're
partake
looking
in
at the other
things.
kids, and then they're like, what's wrong with
Yep.
me? Why can't I have that? That's the one thing about children is they internalize everything.
Right.
So even when we break up in our relationships, we get divorced or whatever, it's like, well, what did I do to make this happen? When it's really not about them, but they find a way. Their little minds are trying to make
Yep.
sense of what's going on, because for them to realize or understand that mommy and daddy just not getting
Because
along,
some of the moms
it's too
blame,
much.
and some of the moms are angry at the dads, and they are like, "Oh, get away from me! You look just like your dad, or you just like your dad."
Ooh,
They always telling them
ooh.
that you just like your dad. You this, you that, you that. I remember I had to speak life into one of my sons. He was going through a lot, and he was just really trying to hold his relationship together, because he did not want to be like what happened with me and his father, that he have a child with a woman, then they're not together. He was just trying to hold on. And I had to tell my son, you are not your dad. You are greater than what he done to you and what he done to your siblings. You are a good father, and you are there for him and everything that, you're there for your daughter in everything that she's needed you to do and be as a father. My son,
That's
did,
heartbreaking,
it was
yo.
very heartbreaking, but it also made me realize that I was happy that over the years, one thing I can say as being a single mom, I did not put my ex down. I did not go, well, if your dad was around, we'd be able to do this and do that. Now, I may have cracked jokes with my children here and there, like as they got older, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know, because
But
my kids come with the jokes
but
first.
I still
I'll be
always
like,
been, and still to this day, if he needed help with something and I genuinely could help him, I would. That's just me. And my children know that. When they were recently graduating over the past couple of years, my children was graduating. I was the one that, even though he wasn't there, I still made that phone call. Hey, our sons are graduating. If you need to be here, you need help getting here, you need this, let me know. And even down to letting him stay in my home so that he could be
I take
there.
my hat off to you. Like
I
really,
I
like
I
really.
did. I'm not like, this is no fakey lakey. It's straight up for real, because
No,
I just wanted him to see that with or without you being a part of their upbringing, I still did the best job that I can despite of my imperfections. And I wanted him to be a part of that in hopes that it would continue on,
you're
with
trying to
strengthening
foster
their
that relationship.
relationship. I just wanted to not be that stereotype woman that's
You
bitter
know,
and that's,
and
you can't come over here.
you
He come
gotta
over.
you make your truth. And I get my
Yeah,
ex is not allowed to come over.
yeah.
Period. Like,
And at
I'm
first,
gonna
my
tell you
sons
why.
they was not very receptive to their dad, but as they got older, and definitely when they became fathers,
Yeah, it changed.
it changed. It changed the way they felt towards their
Their
dad. Now,
dad.
some of my other children they have clearly said to their dad, I have nothing against you, I just don't know how to feel towards you because there's no relationship that ever
There's
developed. So
and that's
that's
the thing.
honest.
Here's the thing, because that's a very great example. Because a
Uh-huh.
lot of people will think that the opposite of love is hate. It's not. It's indifference,
It's
and that's
indifference.
exactly what that was. You know, you can't even blame the child for feeling that way because he's just trying to make sense of where do I stand in all of this.
Yes.
I was saying, like with my ex, there's no way for me. I couldn't like to be in the same room with him. I
Right.
might, I'll break out in the hives, and
But
that,
why is that?
yeah.
Tell me why.
Here's the thing,
I
like
guess I want to pry a little further.
you
Why?
can, because I used to try to be that person that you
Yeah.
were. I never ever badmouthed him. Even when we had separated, you know, when we separated, how that went down is he just went to work one Friday and just never came home. Mind you, I had a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, so I had one kid in daycare, and the other child was needed to be picked up from after school. It was his job to pick up the kids. But then I getting the call like your kids haven't been picked up, and I'm still at work. Mind you, at this time, our son will be having seizures back to back. And if the
Mm.
baby had a seizure one day, he would have like 6, 7 in 24 hours. And so and it was like right at the holiday, it was right before Thanksgiving, which is right before our son's birthday, and then right before our daughter's birthday, and then Christmas. And that's when you decided to just walk out. I didn't hear from that man for 6 months. But at the end of the 6 month, mind you, we got evicted. We were living in New Jersey, and it's in the middle of winter now. So like our electric bill then would go up to eight
Ooh,
hundred dollars
I already
sometimes.
know, girl.
And then I've got daycare, and I've got the rent, and I've got a car, and all those things.
It's
And I'm
happening.
trying to make, and I had a good job too.
Yeah.
So then the savings run out, and then oh, I need to pay somebody else to pick up the kids and do this and that. I mean, like it was a lot. It was so much that I didn't even get a chance to experience the emotions because I was just on go, because I had to be on go. And so when we finally got into a place that I can afford by myself and everything was good and life is still going on, I think it was like maybe a few months later, and I'm just able to exhale, like, okay, now what happened? Now I can
Yeah. Now
process
you can see
how I'm
what went
feeling.
on. Yeah.
But even in all of that, I never badmouthed him. Um, when after he decided that his greener pastures weren't so great and he wanted to see his kids, I didn't deny him that. I never talked bad. I try to be that bigger person, and I would even, and this is the part I'm mad at myself about. Like Christmas would roll around, and I want my kid, even their birthdays, I would want them to feel like Daddy was part of this
Hmm.
too, even though he wasn't. So I would always have a gift. This is from Daddy.
Yeah, I ain't do that shit.
Yeah, that
I
was
kept it
dumb.
real with my children. Daddy did
But
not provide
I
any
just
of this because I didn't want him getting credit for stuff that I was out here doing. No.
For me, it was very hard to understand what their experience would be. I'm coming from a
Yeah.
two-parent
Yeah.
household. My dad is still so heavily involved in my life. So are my parents. They're still together. So I'm used to that. So it just kind of, I'm like, what's going on here? And I don't need neither. I don't regret it. I don't. But I'm just
Right.
like, what were
Right.
you
Right.
thinking though?
Yeah.
But and it got to the point where I stopped when I think
My
by the time
thing
we
was
got
just
here.
the continuance on after we clearly been not together for years,
Yeah.
and me still welcome him in my home, even with his girlfriend, even his girlfriend came to my house.
Yeah.
Just being more or less trying to show that I'm unbothered by the
What you're
breakup.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm unbothered by that. But when my children said, we are not asking for this stuff. So
Mm.
some of what you're doing it.
You're
You
doing too
want it.
much.
You want it. You want him to be here. You want him to be a part of our graduation. We're not asking for that to happen. And so it's my daughter, our last child is getting ready to graduate here in June, and she's asked that I don't do that. So if he comes, it's naturally on his own, which it's been natural on his own in a sense, but it's also been me providing a safe place. Like you can stay here if you need to, making it easier on him where he's not having to, do anything like get a hotel or make other arrangements, taking on the responsibility. And I think for me as a single mother, I just held on to so much from him for so long. And then we were legally married, but not,
Yeah.
together for 17 years, 18 years.
Yeah.
And I just held on. So
Yeah. So what happened is like, he came from Jersey, and he was like, oh, once we were here, he's like, oh, can I see the kids? What? I'm like thinking, just like you are, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he came, took the kids, they went, whatever, hung out with their father. He brings them home. Oh, do you mind if oh, mommy, please? Because they still seeing daddy through,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
mommy never talked nothing bad about
Yeah.
him. And we
So
just
they
had
don't
this
know
great
any.
day with him.
Yeah.
And so now that he puts them to bed, I'm minding my business, ready for this man to leave my house when he was like, all right, now how about you and me
Yeah.
get something going on? And so all that, what happened was, the next thing that happened is my daughter called 911, and my son was pulling that man off of me.
Wow.
My kids walked in on that. Like, he had his knee on my chest and he was strangling me.
See, it was different. My ex
I could
was
never.
not. He was not physically abusive. We've had moments where I feel like I've grabbed him by the neck or punched him dead in his face for something he's did. I've been a little violent at times. It's not always been me getting beat on. Sometimes just been a natural reaction, just to choke him for doing stuff. So it was not. I didn't have that going on. What he mainly did that made us have the separation was cheated. So that's why I think I was a little more like, stuff you did, yes, it was damaging to the family, as far as we had all these children, but it was more between us. We were young, and I too was, cheating as well. I had done things as well. So a lot of stuff, I just was different. So I'm not advising if it was a very toxic marriage or relationship that you were coming from. Yep. No, by no means. Do not, invite that into your world, But now that my children are really basically all out the nest pretty much, except for my baby girl, I just try my best not to get involved in their relationship with their dad. If they have it, they have it. I support it. I do whatever, for them on their ends. Is being supportive. It's just, if they want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I'm not going out of my way anymore because it's not necessary. And it was when my children told me themselves, you doing too much. My daughter was like, this is uncomfortable. Like, she come in a room and me and him, then, and I'm thinking like, he would have common sense to know, you got to get out in the morning, dude. This ain't like how it was. You could just lay here. They not looking to see mommy and daddy together, stupid. They not looking for that. I wanted to mindset. See, that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to get a little something and just go on, Damn him. He's staying laying in the bed. Baby girl came in the room looking like, I'm not. She straight up texted when she got to school. I'm not feeling that. And it's sad when your own children are not feeling you being with their father. It made me think.
Like my kids were like, from that time, they were like, we're blocking him. He can't call us again. And I mean, like, he can't. The judge was like, look, because he got arrested, of course. They were like, you do not have to. If they don't want to go see him, they don't have to go see him. If they don't want to talk to him, don't force them.
I just think it's just so sad that it gets to those levels.
But he's the victim in all of this. Because in spite of what happened, just remember, we had the whole fiasco with my child not too long ago. And he's talking to his dad saying, I'll never treat a woman the way you did my mom. And he's like, I didn't do anything to her. Like, Negro.
Come again, say what? Like, that's like, what kids, this is what my kids, this is what my ex decided to do, right? So one of my sons went to go visit him. Homeboy decided to tell him, your mom used to be a thot, but she used to be a little thot. Your mama used to be a little hoe. Why the hell is that important right now? But I made sure they graduated though.
Because
I'm just saying, you don't bring it up what I.
Let me tell you why.
I don't bring up what I did. That was 20-something.
First of all, it's because he's mad that he hasn't been there. He's mad at himself.
I wasn't even cool.
He's mad at you for succeeding.
I confronted him about it though.
He's mad at you for succeeding.
I said, dude, that was a hater move. I'm not sitting up here bringing you out and all the things you'd have done. I was like, that was a hater move.
No.
And that did not win you any points. It did nothing for you. No one cares less or least. It did
because
not.
He wanted to bring you to his level, but you can't because
you can't bring me there. I've already been there. These children know.
They
was with their single mom who, I wasn't always making the wisest decisions, Joy. That's why I speak about the stuff that I was doing. I'm speaking about the having men coming in and out of my home that I was dealing with, whether it was sexually, whether I was dealing with them just dating. That's not okay for women to do that as single mothers. And I was doing that. I was young, you know, and I don't want to blame it like I was young. I was
No, but
not
I think, you know
educated.
what though, it's okay to own your truth.
Yeah, I was just not.
Own it. You
I
know?
didn't have someone guiding me and telling me this is not appropriate. You should not have these men around your children. I'm not saying every man I was involved with I had around my
Yeah.
children, but my sons will tell you to this day, they be having some jokes. I'll be like, shut up. Shut it up.
If I could be a fly on the wall when
I'll be like, go on, you know.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like when my ex left the way that he did, I had to, you know, I had to start dealing with old emotional issues. You know,
Right.
I had to deal with my rejection issues. I had to deal with my abandonment issues. I had to deal with the little girl that was inside of me that was still that needed to heal.
And you know
I went
what?
through that process.
That's a valid point.
I went through that process. That's why I tell you, like, I went a whole 5, almost 6 years without ever talking to a man. Like, I'm no boo, no babe, no text, no nothing. There was no flirtation. I had to go through that process. And it was like, you know, and then I'm also like, you know, trying to just raise these kids. And how would I have time for that? And I got work and I got this.
But you know what? You brought up a value. You just said something. I'm going to have time for that because I be teasing one of my cousins, right? She's a single mom of 4. And I'm always teasing her about how are you going to date? One of your kids got football, one got basketball, this other one got this going on, they got band going on. I'm like, how are you going to date? So single women, single mothers, I don't even want to talk about single women in a whole, but single mothers, if you're really wanting to date, you have to find a babysitter or somebody for some of them damn kids because people sometimes don't want to hear that. Sometimes men do not want to hear, you know, you're automatically coming into a situation, dating a man. This is just one of my pet peeves with women. You know, I'm expressing myself. Is that we're quickly trying to bring our children into the situation.
That's dangerous.
And what I mean by that is, you know, it's okay to let a man know, hey, I have X amount of kids, you know, so sometimes I'm not available. I cannot be available for you at all these times that you may want. No, you can't come over to my house. I may come over to your house, blah, 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 whatever, right? But I think that women sometimes, because of them being single mothers, they're, you know, and our children are our world. My children are my world. I still bring them up. I really don't got to talk about the children no more. You know, they grow. I don't got to tell nobody I got 6 kids. I don't got 6 kids. I got 6 young adults. Damn, they grew up on me. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's just like I've learned as getting older that I don't have to involve people so quickly with my children. And I see a lot of single mothers doing that. This they daddy, this so and so. That's not their daddy. It's like it's not their dad. You know,
trying to make a family.
Trying to make a family with stepdad. You're not even married to this dude.
Sometimes some people, like, and men too, because some women be trying to hawk in on your babies and be stepmommy too. You also got to be careful because that is part of love bombing. That is a part of love bombing. They're going to be the perfect step parent before they do what they really want to do to you. Right. So you got to be guarding your children. You just need to be careful. Because I had one relationship for almost lasted 2 years afterwards. And that's my only relationship since my ex-husband. And he met my kids and everything. We were bonding. We were doing family type stuff. But when we broke up, it's not just me who broke up with him. My kids broke up with him. And he had been more present in their lives than their dad could ever be. There's no, I mean, like, he was there for
that's
school
the dangerous
meetings.
Thing.
He was there for everything. When they had bad days, like, he would drop whatever he was doing to show up and be like, son, I got you.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What happened?
Yeah.
And, you know, so when we broke up and we needed to break up, it affects them too. So everybody that you date as a single mother, everybody that you date, even as a single father, and your children are aware of this, your children are dating that person too. Hello. So you don't break up by yourself.
So you just got to be careful. Yeah. You got to be careful as far as just trying to integrate that relationship so quickly. You know, so I date men sometimes. I tell them I got sons. They think they finna be their pals. My son's not very welcoming like that. They not just
no. They're gonna be defensive about their mom.
But they're not even. My sons is just more or less. If you cool, you cool. And my daughter, she's the same way. All my children, all 6 of my children are more or less like, Just be cool. Don't come in trying to
be something.
overdo it. Just come in and be natural.
Yeah.
Because I've had some dudes that they really like, especially dude cook, dude cut hair. They be like, okay, he good. But if little buddy start trying to do stuff like, hey, son, and, making little posts on Facebook like, happy birthday, son, they be pissed about that.
Yeah, I would be.
They be like, Ma, you need to tell your little African friend.
Listen, what's wrong with my African
I'm
brother?
just sitting here, I always be saying that because it always be the ones I be dating them, the African men, they always be like, son, or when they call or they check on me, they like, how's my children? I be trying to tell them like, I know in your culture, it seems like this is the thing to do.
Not really in our culture though, that's them thing.
That ain't the thing to do. So any of my African friends out there, I'm just trying to let you know, women don't like that pushy shit y'all be doing. Some of them African, they just be, girl, they be like,
but it's not just African,
girl, but they don't. We gotta be real though. Them African
I
ones.
haven't dated many Africans,
See,
and
you
I
haven't
am
dated
African,
many of them.
but
That's
African.
your own kind.
I'm African, but I've dated your kind.
You going
and
outside your race.
Pushing that. You going outside your race.
I sure the hell am.
The pot calling the kettle
I'm
black.
going outside my race. I love you, African being straight. I'm straight. I'm telling you, straight from the straight. But I've been a little cautious of them lately because I'm telling you, they're getting on my damn nerves. They want to kiss you right when they meet you. Kick, I just met you. Most American men don't always be so quick to do
African
that.
Men, I don't know a single.
But a good 80%. Come on, anybody on 80%. Here right now that then talked and dealt with the African men, they come on.
Maybe that's because they're dating an American woman, but to another African woman.
Is that what it is? That's how they do. They meet us. That's what they do. They meet us.
I'm trying to make it make sense.
They meet us on Monday. By Wednesday, they ready to get married.
No, but that's what I encountered dating these Americans. Like, this one dude, like, he was like a whole pastor, right? Calling me his first lady. Girl,
did you really feel like the first lady?
No,
was you practicing
First
sermons?
of all, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you about my dating experience with this fool. Y'all, we were talking for like about 3 weeks before we met up, right? Because we met on an app. And then now we go
be dating on them apps.
Listen, because I'm busy working. Let me see, how this can go. We're sitting at the restaurant. He's across from me. And dude is like, the server comes, drop off water and the menus, and she goes. He comes from across it, like right like you. But then dude just morphed into a whole octopus. Like, I mean, hands everywhere. I'm like, dude, we just met. Can we have some space here? Like,
he might have just been trying to see if he can get the kitty cat real quick.
Girl, pastor was like, listen, why don't we just go to my place? Let's skip this and go to my place. I was like,
don't trust them pastors.
First of all, I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go. Got on. I'm following him for, to my exit on the highway and took off and went home.
Why didn't you just tell him it's not a great idea? You're a pastor and I'm going to blast your ass.
Because first of all, he was a fool. He could have done anything in that place. And I wasn't about to be embarrassed by that little piece of something.
I had a man. He
got a nerve to hit my inbox. I talk about, you just wanted me for my body. Like, dude, you was a whole smurf. Like, are you serious?
You know that video came out not too long ago when that pastor was giving that good fellatio and that girl video. She was wrong for that. So why you do the pastor like that, girl?
No, she wasn't. He was wrong. Why did he put himself in that position? But why
did she need to do that, though?
But he probably did something to her.
I think it's the fact that women, period, or people, period, think if somebody is a pastor, they are not fallible.
Girl,
when they truly, honestly are. A pastor is this pastor been touching people. They've been touching people.
If you think pastors can't make mistakes, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
But that's some folks think that. I'm just saying everybody is subject to doing something. Yeah. I'm just saying. We're gonna go on and wrap it up. It's been such a good Friday. It's so beautiful out. We're gonna leave on this note because I want to ask you this quick question. This is this is a scenario actually. Okay. This is a scenario, audience. We're gonna leave on this note, right? So a man is married. He has 4 children with previous woman, right? Mm-hmm. Previous woman is driving a little bucket. It's not really getting her where she got to get to. So the man decides that he's going to take $600. He bought her a van for her and the children, and he fixed it up because he also could work on cars. He has a side hustle, as well as he pays $1,000 a month in child support. The wife got upset that he did that. Is she right or is she wrong?
Well, did he tell her that he was going to do it?
That's the part we don't know. It doesn't say that in the scenario.
If he didn't
It
tell
doesn't
her,
say that the wife got upset that he didn't tell her. It said that the wife got upset that he did it, period.
if he didn't tell her and he did it behind his back, then he's wrong. He shouldn't lie to his wife. And that's a form of financial infidelity. Now, if he told her and she is aware, then there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's the mother of his children. And I think you have to be, men, you have to be, in women too, we have to be smart about the people that we decide to marry, because your past doesn't go away, especially for children. Like, what's
I
the
said
problem?
because we had this was a very heated conversation because one person felt that he is married and regardless if he shouldn't even ask his wife, period, he just shouldn't be doing it. It's not his responsibility to make sure that the mom has a
First of all,
reliable
if
vehicle.
that was my husband and I could see that that's his children's mother, boo, what you doing? Let's get homegirl a car.
Girl, that's what I said.
Like, there's no
That's what
way.
see.
There's no
See?
way.
I knew I liked you.
How could I? How
I
could I?
just girl, that's
Listen,
the same thing I
how do
said.
you have
How
a
can I
conscience? Because
mm.
let me tell you, if I love that man, I love him with
And
everything.
I love
And
his
those
children.
babies, I
Yes.
love them. And so
Yes.
for me to see that, listen, those babies are going through a lot, going, this car, they deserve better. And then to think of what it's like as a woman to try your best or to do whatever, whether I like her or I don't like her, whether she calls me names or whatever, she don't even have to like me. I don't even care. But let's do the right thing
Let's do
here.
the right thing. That's what
Nah.
I'm saying. So I felt the same way. Others had a different opinion. They felt that the husband should not do anything
Whatever.
since it's the mother and she's getting $1,000 in child support. I said, you know
What does
what?
$1,000
That
do?
is well,
Shoot.
4 kids, please. That's nothing. That's nothing.
If my
That's
ex would have been
snack.
given child support $1,000 back then, it would have just covered daycare.
Right.
Not even the aftercare or before. That's all it would have covered.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Men need to do better.
babies
And men
need
need to stop
clothes
trying
and
to put women
everything, clubs
down.
and everything. Like, stop it.
Some of us single mothers have got to twerk to make it work. That was funny. That was a good slogan. You gotta twerk to make it work.
If I see that hashtag, I'm putting the angry face. I'm letting you know.
Because I'm just gonna say this real quick, then I'm gonna go. Because look, there are some young girls and even older ones too. I'm not even gonna put it all on the young girls that are stripping to pay their way through college so they can take care of their children. So sometimes you gotta twerk to make it work.
All right.
Hello.
See you next Friday, and thank you so much.
Thank you again for joining us.
1,000.
Girl, we don't keep it 100. We keep it 1,000.
That's true.
Yay! Again, check out these lashes. These are called Angel Beauty by Sheree. Check her out. Check out my girl Jericho Thompson. You can see her on Facebook, Jericho Thompson. Check her out. Beauty by Sheree. Y'all like these? I'm gonna pop out a different one next week. I holla.